All right. Welcome back.
Hello.
Midwest Revue live on Facebook Live. Bob Einweck.
Hey.
So, we were talking a little bit about different stuff. Now, the last one was a train related song.
Right?
Personally, I'm a sucker for train songs. I just love train songs. And I remember the one for the train that you had. Was that your previous album?
It is.
It's a great song. I just love that song. So,
Well,
just
I'll
wanted
give
to
you a
say
little insight to the train thing, right?
that. Okay.
You went to St. Mary's Grade School. I don't know
Right.
if you remember this or not, but they used to show us movies of trains and kids playing around trains and accidents. Do you remember that?
Yes, I do remember that.
And they would, in part of the movie, in one of the movies, it was a kid who was messing around by the train, and somehow he got hurt. Ah, there's a scream. And then they cut to the hospital, and the first thing they show is the blood drip, 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 drip. It scared the pants off me.
Right.
I have such an incredible amount of respect for trains, and scared to death of them, to be close to them. Just
Right.
well, wouldn't you know, I get out of high school, and the best job available to me is working on the railroad. And it's just my own personal sense of it. It's just there's so much irony in that, is because that's the last thing I wanted to do because I was so afraid of trains. And I guess just that imprint on my psyche, I've got like 7 train songs, and
Right.
I just love train songs too, and sometimes I just slip something into a song about a train, and my friend had this thing where he tried to get the word toes into every song that he wrote. Well, with me, it's a train, big as a train, fast as a train, long as a train. I think it's intriguing. I think it's an intriguing part of Americana, the train.
Oh yeah, for
And
sure.
then living in Clinton, growing up in Clinton, laying awake at night, listening to the wheels fall in the car shops
Yep.
and ringing through the town,
Yep.
and all the people that were employed there, and the fact that we have the longest railroad bridge in the United States right here at our disposal.
Yeah.
And we used to walk across it to the island and go
Yes.
get drunk on, walking the train bridge over. So there's so many childhood memories associated with trains.
Hobo's Hideout.
Hobo's
Remember-
Hideout,
remember
Bear Ass
Hobo-
Beach is what they also call
Right.
that place, right? So yeah, it's something that I have written about a lot, and something I am going to continue to write about.
Yeah, I love train songs.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you for writing about
And
it.
the other side of this is, in 1928, my grandparents were out picking flowers in Cucamonga Ranch, California, and my grandfather's car got stuck on the railroad tracks. My grandfather and grandmother were killed. My great-grandmother was thrown from the car, and my father was thrown from the car,
Wow.
and they shipped him back to Chicago, where he became an orphan and got himself in a family there, and life went on with the Shepkes. So there's there's that element of the trains that kind of overrides all this other noise about trains in my head. And I wrote a song about that particular instance, but it's so dark that I don't think anybody wants to hear it. So and it's a my song. It's a very complex
Right.
and fun to play song, but I don't see that anyone would be interested in knowing about how my grandparents were killed. I mean, so you want to put a little bit of a smile on people's faces with the song, and that one wasn't going to be able to do it. So.
Well, there are dark songs that make it too. That
Yeah,
people
yeah.
get turned on by.
Yeah, well, it's dark songs about your heart hurting from love. That's
Right.
that's a really common theme.
Right.
But your grandparents being killed by a train,
Yeah.
that's maybe too dark
Right.
for most people.
That's true. Yeah.
And I love dark songs, so don't get me wrong. I'm not son, puppies and rainbows, but like I can't get it out. I can't play it.
Right. I understand. Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, one song that is and isn't a train song that you wrote about Clinton and Hobo's Hideout, like I mentioned just a minute
Sure.
ago, is in that song. Second Street cruising or cruising the dike with all their might, and
Yeah.
our, well, you know it better than I. Can we hear that song?
You want to hear that song?
Yes.
Okay. I had myself set for a different one, but that's no problem.
Sorry.
No worries. And this song came about as a result of my first formal guitar lessons.
Oh, really?
There's a gal named Laney McCauley. So I enrolled at the junior college, Pima College in Tucson, because my friend kept talking about the music theory guy out there, and I was interested in music theory. I'd taken one class at the University of Arizona, and I wanted to expound on that. And so I went to the school to learn guitar. And so I enrolled in a guitar class and a theory class. And as I was in the guitar class, the teacher said, you know, well, what do you do? What do you got? You know. So of course, I was a better singer than a guitar player, so I thought, well, I'll play the guitar, but I'm gonna sing him a song, you know.
Right.
And so I sang him a song, and I don't know if he was impressed or whatever, but the next time we had a class, the choir teacher was in the class, walked in, and said, hey, I hear we've got a singer in here. Would you like to join the choir? And I was like, no. And he says, well, what if we were able to give you a scholarship and pay for your tuition to be in the choir?
Wow.
And all of a sudden I got a little more interested.
Right.
And at that point I joined 2 choirs, which met every day. So I was all of a sudden now singing 2 hours a day in choirs. And then I expanded my my music classes, and I started taking piano lessons, ear training, music history, and then I got, you know, ingratiated with some of the teachers, and I got offered a job taking roll and helping out the choir director.
That's
that was
nice.
after in my second semester. So at that point, I was hooked on music education.
Sure.
And so, backtrack now, a few lessons in on the guitar, she was, for the first time ever, trying to get me to have independence with my fingers. And she didn't teach me the Merle Travis thing. What she taught me was how to play the guitar like a piano.
Mm.
And so I took this, it was this. Put a little bass note in there and just rolling those chords. One string for every finger. It's called the Pima method. So you play the 3 low strings with the thumb, and each of the 3 upper strings get assigned a finger. And that's the Pima method. Well, it really doesn't take much to inspire me to write a song. And the Pima method did that for this song. So I went home and started doing that pattern, changing chords around, and out came Mississippi River Nights.
All right.
So here's how that one goes. Well, I can see him starting out down happy hour at the beer joint. Skunk got mad 'cause Diddy never calls the 8. They think the wine and the women are all for their delight. It's a pretty good time for a Mississippi River night. They got catfish stories I hear that are bigger than a big man. Every diver knows not to go near the old train bridge. Fish you got good sight, you'll be gone in one bite. It's a pretty good time for a Mississippi River night. And another biker took his last roll down the highway. They ought to close down that old bar before the rest of us die. Cops have got good sight, cruising riverfront with all their might. good time for a Mississippi River night. Some folks leave, but there's stories that they tell about the grain-filled freight trains rolling out of sight. Some go back just as well. It's a pretty good time for a Mississippi River night. Well, I sure got the urge to go down to Hobo's hideout with the dirty old couch and the fire pit on Bare-Ass Beach. I'll lay my head down right till the morning light. 'Cause I'm long overdue for a Mississippi River night. And on the Midwest plains where the cornrows meet the water lies a dying farm town I used to call my own. The flood of '65, not one hometown boy died. It's a pretty good time in the Mississippi River night. It's a pretty good time in the Mississippi River night.
Yeah, I love that one, man.
Thank you.
Really do. You know, the flood of '65, that reminds me, in grade school at St. Mary's, we got out of school to go over
Fill
in the
sandbags.
street and fill sandbags, yeah.
And you know what? I was a rascal. What I liked about it was you got free sandwiches and
Right.
a cup of coffee, you know. So I worked my ass off for a little white bread and bologna, you know. It's a free sandwich. I would do some work for that.
Yeah. Yeah, it
I
was a
think the Red
different
Cross
world
came
in
in and
those.
made
Yeah,
sure they
exactly.
got some water and hot coffee.
Yeah, it
That
was
was a time of the community coming together, wasn't it?
exactly.
Yeah.
For sure.
Create a lot of unity, and you know, I have a funny story about the flood of '65. My stepfather, they shipped the girls out. The girls got motel rooms, but the boys had to stay at the house for the crest of the flood, right?
Okay.
I guess they thought we could swim, I don't know. But my stepfather, Bill, he would appreciate me telling this story too. It's he sat up probably with a martini and a cigarette. That's what everybody smoked, and it was okay. So
Right.
he dropped his cigarette and started his chair on fire sometime around midnight or 1. And he took the chair out to the back porch and he hosed it down. And he went back into about his business, listened to the radio, waiting for the crest. He didn't put enough water on the chair, and he started the back porch on fire.
Oh, no.
So instead of a flood in the house, we had the house on fire, and I was upstairs sleeping right above the porch where he started, and I was the one that came down and said, "What is burning down here?" Well, the house is on fire. So, yeah, I mean, I don't guess he was used to staying up until that late, you know.
Right.
So he dropped that smoke right in his chair.
That's funny. Not funny, but it's a funny story.
It's quirky, right? Yeah. I'm sure, in retrospect, we all think it's a lot funnier than my mom thought it was at the time, right?
Right. Yeah, I'm sure he heard about it. What do you got else? You got something else?
I got a
for us,
love
or-
song I'm going to sing for you.
All right.
This is my most recent composition.
Brand new?
It's fairly new. It's probably 6 months old, and it's on the new record. It's about a relationship that I formed with a woman that I met at pickleball.
Really?
And there was a woman that we became close friends, But one of the things that she wanted from me was a commitment that we would be this close of friends forever. And I just thought, well, geez, I have some anxiety about separation too, but I'm not really asking people for forever, you know. So, meanwhile, there's a musician in the state here that I follow on Facebook. His name's Zollo.
Dave Zoll?
Dave Zollo, yeah. And so I was just perusing his comments or posts one day, and he was chatting with a friend online, and one of the things that he had said to his friend was, "Tell me you'll always be around." And I put that in my pocket, and I thought, that is a really nice way to write a love song. You know, don't tell me that you'll love me forever. Tell me that you'll always be around. So I merged those two ideas, which is the pickleball gal who wanted my friendship forever, and this kind of quirky line from the Facebook. And so I lifted it, and that's what we do, you know.
Right.
So
Nothing wrong with that.
my best lift, though, was when I was touring up this way, maybe 20 years ago, and I was in Paris de Chêne, and in the bathroom, and looking up, and right in front of me it said, "The woman I love, I cannot have. The woman I have, I cannot love." And that became, that's my favorite one of those kind of one-off lines that became a song, but it has nothing to do with this song. So
Right.
I'll go ahead and give you, this one ended up being called "Always Be Around." Tell me you'll always be around. Tell me you'll always be around. If I ask you to go, say no. Tell me you'll always be around. I can tell you I'll always be around. I can tell you I'll always be around. Ask me to go, I'll say no, 'cause I'll always be around. If I tell you I will always be around, would you tell me you'll always be around? We won't need nowhere to go if and we love each other so much that we decide to always be around. We will always be around.
Pickleball friendship. There you go.
There you go. They got some nice courts here in Clinton too.
Oh yeah.
I went down and checked them out.
Pickleball's become huge.
It's become huge with
It's
me
like,
too,
yeah.
so yeah, made some good friends with it.
Yeah, it sounds like it. Yeah. Well, that's good. So what, you've got your class reunion tonight
Yeah.
and Sunday at
Sunday
the View, and that's an early show,
Yeah,
noon,
yeah. Well, I knew all the kids were going to be in town,
right?
and I thought I'd get some to stay an extra day, and the ones that were close regionally could still drive home after a show if I put it at noon. And this is a party in class, and I wanted them to listen to the song, so I didn't schedule it for 8 at night because they're drinking too much to pay attention by then. So
Well, some of them by noon, I don't know.
Yeah, sure. I'm hoping for the best.
Well, hope you guys have fun. I think that would be a good gig for you.
I'm thinking that it's going to work out pretty well. You know, when you walk into a room and everyone knows you and they want you to succeed,
Right,
that sure helps you.
for sure. And you've got somebody playing with you, right?
Mark Snyder on the stand-up
Okay.
bass, yeah, and they want him to succeed too.
Was he the same class?
He was in the same class.
Okay.
And he's mainly a bluegrass player from the Seattle area now, and he's with a successful group up there, and has been for quite some time.
Good.
And I visited him up there. I've been to some bluegrass festival with them, and they stay up all night and play some of the most complex music you've ever heard.
I'm sure.
And it wears me out, and I go to bed.
Yeah, some of that bluegrass stuff gets, wow.
Well, they morph out of the bluegrass into the swing thing, you know.
Well, yeah, that's what I've noticed. Not, I don't know if it's always happened, but in the last several years, you hear bluegrass involved in everything.
Yeah.
It's like, wow. It's like,
Right. There's some really tasty covers of songs you wouldn't expect.
yeah, exactly. Yeah. And then Robert Plant getting into bluegrass stuff. Must be okay.
Well, I would, if Alison Krauss invited me in,
Right.
I wouldn't care what the genre was.
Yeah, that's true. So, what do you call your music? Folk, or what do you call, or do you call it anything?
You know, the easiest way to confuse people is just call it Americana.
Right.
But that doesn't tell them anything.
Right.
So,
it's become kind of an umbrella
yes.
thing. Yeah.
I don't know. I really think I'm folk country blues rock, and I don't really know
Okay.
how to deviate from that kind of description. It's just I don't write for genres.
Right.
I just kind of wait and see what's going to show up, and that's
Well,
the song I write.
To be honest, genres, the line between genres is like
It's pretty blurry now.
very
isn't it?
blurry. Yeah.
So some of my new record touches on jazz because I have jazz players playing blues and folk songs. So people go, "That's jazz," and I say, "Well, it's not, but he is."
Yeah, I really like the new album, by the way.
Thank you.
And where can people get that?
It will be released on Sunday, the 11th, and it will be on all the streamable platforms.
Okay.
People will be able to access my Facebook page and my Shopify page. So if they want hard copies and T-shirts, they will be able to buy that stuff there. But then otherwise, it will be downloadable: Spotify, iTunes, YouTube.
Okay.
You can't really get away from when you put music out. It's eventually going to be free for everybody if they want it to be free for them.
Right.
So that's just one of the things you accept, the fact that you're probably not going to get your money back, but you just want to have a profile, and you got to hope that one song is going to stick somewhere and
Yeah.
show up in a movie or something, and you don't worry about the money and the sales because you'll drive yourself nuts when you see that your paycheck from YouTube is 72 cents.
Yeah,
you know?
exactly.
You just can't count on that to be meaningful. But it's really cool to have the internet to steer people, and
Yeah.
you don't have to send them a CD, pay $5 to mail it, and the cost of the manufacturer. You can just send it to them.
That's true,
And
yeah.
And the other side of it is with the internet being the way it is, I only know of 2 Robert Einwecks. The more unique your name is, the better it is for the internet.
There you go.
If you're a musician named Joe Smith, you're not going to show up until the 7th page of Google. Mine's on the first page, and all the listings are, So having that odd name, I never cared for it. I wanted to be Bob Marshall. I changed my name a long time ago
Really?
to Bob Marshall. It didn't stick, and I just went back to who I am. But it was because, I want to have something catchy. But with the advent of the internet, you want to have something that people can find.
Yeah, very true.
So
And it's spelled E-I,
EINWECK.
right, just in case you want to Google it.
And it's an Einweck, and a Weck, I don't know if you know, is a roll. It's a salted roll. You can find them on the East Coast, not so much out this way. And Ein is one. And so the Weck to me would be a bun or a roll, and that's why my record company is called One Bun Records. It's a very bad translation of my name.
Well, that's good. I like that. I always wondered where that came from.
Yeah,
Now
it's
I
not
know.
half-assed, it's one bun.
Oh, that's great.
Well, thank you so much for having me here
Oh.
today. I really appreciate it, and I've enjoyed myself. And
Thanks for coming in. I appreciate it. It's always nice to have somebody from local, or that has a lot of local people
Yeah,
that
I got
know,
the ties,
you know,
yeah.
yeah. So it's nice to do. What else you got? You got another song for us?
You want another one? Okay, let me see. Lack of planning never, what do they say, no better or worser for lack of rehearser.
People that listen to my show anyway, they're used to, you know, pauses and everything.
Yeah.
It's like,
Okay, I got one. And this one's meaningful to me on a couple levels. First of all, a fella died, one of my fellow musicians in Tucson. It made me very sad. And then within like 3 days, another guy I knew trained.
wow.
Another guy I knew was in Florida, and he had this thing of jumping and riding trains, and he did it when he was loaded, and he missed, and he lost both of his feet. And combined with this songwriter friend who had died and him, I sat up straight in the bed one night and started this song. And I never do that. I write in the morning. I don't even trust what I think at night. So, but this one was deep, you know, and it was a deep cut, and I knew I wasn't going to go back to sleep because I was having these visions of this train. And so this one, this is the only song I've ever written that came out of the middle of the night. And this one had a premonition in it. The songwriter that in question that I'm talking about that died, he probably likely died from alcoholism. And I was drinking quite a bit at that time, but I was had this vision of stopping drinking. So I wrote the second verse as though I had already quit drinking, because I was projecting myself into that space of
Okay.
getting away from alcohol. So it was a premonition of sorts, and it came true for me. I was able to stop. And so this one is called I Don't Do That, which is short for I Don't Do That No More.
Okay.
But, are we still rolling? Can you cut this out?
Yeah.
That was really a bad start to that song, and I need to pick. I was kind of geared up for 3, and now I kind of goofed up your timing here.
Oh, it's no problem. As long as we're not live on the radio, you know, we can flow however we.
You can cut it and paste
Yeah.
it? Yeah. Do you want me, when I come back in, you want me to do some talking right to lead up into it, or does it matter?
I'm still running, so
Okay.
just, yeah. This way people on Facebook gets all this behind the scenes stuff.
Well, I hope they're interested in that. So I'm going to do this in the proper key. When I see a train, makes me want to ride. Forget my fear on Friday night. my feet in the past. But I don't do that. I don't do that. I don't do that. Don't do that no When I see a bridge, it makes me want to cross. Before my time, just get me across. But I don't do that. Don't do that. Don't do that. Don't do that no more.
All right, Bob Einweck live in the KMCN
Thank you,
studio
Billy.
on Midwest Revue Live. Good stuff, Bob.
Been a pleasure.
Yeah, me too. I've enjoyed it. Forgot what I was going to say. Are you leaving after the Sunday
I'll be out
program?
Sunday
or-
or Monday.
Okay.
Depends on if they can talk me into going up to play the AMVETS on Sunday night. We'll see.
There's talk of that
There
then?
might be a pop-up show
All
later,
right.
later Sunday.
With other
Mark will be gone.
other guys from the class, or?
Nobody really knows about it yet.
Okay.
So,
All right, well,
yeah. It may be announced at the concert or something like that. I don't know. You know, the other side of this concert is I'm getting some calls from people who want to come, and there's no tickets left. So I'm thinking about doing a Woodstock thing on them, and like just saying, man, it's a free concert, man. Come on in. So if people show up and we can get them in under the fire code,
Right.
the money won't matter. And I'm curious to see how it turns out.
Yeah. Talk with Brooke about it. She might be able to put you out front on the sidewalk. I don't know. It's something to think about.
Yeah.
Well, that's good. I hope it goes well.
Going in open-minded, so we'll see.
So it's a sold-out show.
It is.
All right.
Very flattering.
Well, that's good. I mean, is it? Do you know who has bought the tickets, or?
Well, I could see online who has said they're interested and who's going.
Okay, right.
And people have contacted me and said, yeah, we're going, I'm bringing such and such.
Great.
And I have the 15 that are on the standing room only guest list. They've all contacted me in order to get on that list. So I have a pretty good idea. There's about 20 tickets sold that I don't know who that's going to be.
Right. Well, that's good. I mean, well, can you do another one as we leave, or?
Yeah. Let's
Songwriter's choice.
Let's dig into the archive here and see what I got. Do something in standard tuning. Alrighty then. So I was with a woman for 25 years who I met at a club in New Mexico in the mountains at 8,000 feet. And she lived next door to the bar. It got very convenient to go there in the summer from Tucson. and to go from 110 degrees to go to 80 degrees, I got to the point where I'd have a show there Thursday, Friday, Saturday. I would show up the Monday before, and then maybe leave a week after. I fell in love with this place in New Mexico, and it's kind of where I came of age as a performer, because they were hiring me like 50 nights a year for
Wow.
about 4 years, and I kind of got my stage chops together there. But we were seated on her front porch one Sunday afternoon after my weekend, and she was a domestic violence counselor and assistant manager at the shelter. And she says to me, well, why don't you write a song about the buckhorn, which was the name of the bar next door. I said, I don't know, what kind of song would you write about the bar, you know? And she said, there's a lot of domestic violence going on in this town. Why don't you touch on that a little bit? So this one was inspired by Dawn, and she told me what to write about, and I followed her direct order. So this is a thing called the buckhorn. And when I released it in, I think it was 99, I was still working at the Buckhorn, so I released the song under a pseudonym and called it the Dark Horse. But I'm going to sing it today as the Buckhorn. And the names were changed, and normally you would say the names were changed to protect the innocent. The names were changed to protect me.
Right.
Because I was calling out people for doing really bad stuff, you know, and I'm not a judge or a
Right,
jury,
right.
but I pretended to be one in this instance, you know. So now the names are still the changed names, but it's a song about the buckhorn now and not about the dark horse.
Gotcha.
Yeah, here we go. Bar on the street where the old dogs lie in a little ghost town, in a melodrama sky called the Dark Horse Saloon. The doors are closed until just after 3 when the working men file in from the street after drinking all day. That's the way of the Buckhorn Saloon. The way of the buckhorn. Ray stumbles in, stakes a claim at the bar. Close behind his Billy in that broken down car. He's a slow train leaving town. You see Billy beat his girl, and Ray does the same. When Ray sees in Billy, he hears in his own name, so Billy's gotta go. That's the name of the Buckhorn Saloon. That's the way of the Buckhorn. Ray's got a knife, Billy says he won't run. Chuck's on the phone, calling 911. He said, Christ, it's only 3:30. And then the cops showed up and let it all slide. Ray and Billy never did go outside. Only women get beat up in this town. It's the way of the Buckhorn Saloon. It's the way of the Buckhorn.
Bob Einweck, live in the KMCN studio on Midwest Revue, live on Facebook also. Good stuff, Bob.
Hey, thanks. You
Good
know what? I
stuff.
hadn't thought beforehand that the guy's name was Billy in that song.
That's okay.
Sure it
That's
wasn't
okay.
lost on you.
By the way, people, if you like that song and what it pertains to, there's a good movie out. Me and my wife took it to me yesterday. It's called It Stops Here. Pretty good movie. So
Stop the
check
cycle.
it out. Right. Exactly. Thanks, Bob, for being here.
My pleasure,
I
buddy.
appreciate it, man. And good luck with whatever you do,
Thank you.
wherever you go. All right. Thanks for tuning in, people.
Hi,
I gotta
Facebook.
go.
Appreciate you.
Bye.